Hello, hi, this is Christine Crowle here, and I just want to talk to you about, I want to really talk about a story that I am aware of it's been going around for years, for example. Now, some of you go to events and you're looking for change. You go to that event because you want to change, you want someone to change you, to make a change in you. And what I think that we should really be looking at in 2025 is you becoming the change. Because if you've already gone to loads of events, okay, and you haven't changed, then there's something wrong there. And I'm speaking openly here. I don't want anyone to, get offended by it, because I've done it myself where I've gone to lots and lots of events. I have got so many things that I've collected over the years of the events that I've been to from 20 years, for example. Now, we tend to go to these events because we want someone to help us to change, but we haven't really looked at ourselves to change ourselves from within. We're looking at external factors to make that change within us, like somehow they're going to wave some magic wand around you or bless you, and suddenly the change is going to happen. And I'm here to tell you that it's only you can make that change by you deciding to take action. Now, maybe you've been to these events, and I've got a box here just to show an example of what can happen. Okay, you go to an event, you collect a flyer when you've gone to the event, for example. You've collected it. Oh yes, that was really good information, I'm going to act on this. And you put it, do you put it in the box, or do you put it in your trash can? Decide to put it in your trash can, because to you, you're not going to use it. Then maybe you've gone to another event, and you possibly went to probably about 10 events, and you think, oh yes, I'm going to do something with that information that I've learned at that event. I've spent a whole day, or maybe I've spent hours, or maybe I've spent a whole week, spent for hotel, money gone as well, and you're going to put that into the box here, for example, of what you've learned from that event. So you've got all this paperwork that they've handed to you, their flyers, how you can contact them, what you're going to learn, what information that you've gathered and learned and put into your head, and your head is full. And then now you've got no space to actually work on what they've given you, because your head is full of this information, because you didn't implement whilst you was there at the event, for example. So you then forget about that, and then a year goes, well, let's say 3 months go by, and then you go to another event and you collect more information, and you think that was good, or maybe you think that was a bad idea, because I'm never going to have the time to use this information. Even though you spent thousands upon thousands of pounds already attending these different events, that you feel that people are going to change your life somehow. But you go to that event and you put it in the trash can. Look at this, it's a mountain up. So then you see another event and you think, oh yes, this is the one, it's going to change me. They're going to change me, I know they are. So I'm going to go to that event. So you go to that event, you spend thousands of pounds, and you've been listening, you've made notes, you've written notes, you've taken photos, you've got your camera out, you've taken photos of the the PowerPoint presentation that they've done. For example, they've given you a free gift. Maybe they've given you a free bag full of what it is that they do. For example, pens, compliment slips, you name it, they've given it to you. You go to that event and you've got all the documents that they've given you, and you're like, wow, this is really valuable. Thank you so much. You spent time talking to the speakers afterwards, and thank you. That was so informative. I'm going to be in touch with you very soon. So then you then put it in your box. See how this box is mounting up? It's mounting up. It's got lots of information that you haven't used yet. Then 3 months later, down the line, you think, I didn't really get what I wanted. I still feel empty inside. I feel empty inside. I need to do something. So then maybe a friend rings you and said, hey, there's an event going on. Let's all go together. It's going to be great. We're going to have so much fun. You go to the event. You may be sitting there having a meal, a glass of wine, for example, or a tea or coffee, piece of cake, listening to the speakers. You're sitting there and you're like, wow, this is great. This is wonderful. This is what I've been looking for. I've wanted this for years. And then they give you the information for you to get in contact. There's different speakers there. So you've got one information from one speaker. Then you've got another information from another speaker that you've gone to. And then there's another information from another speaker that you've gone to. And then you got this information from a speaker that was there, but you didn't really connect with them. So you've decided to put that into the bin. So you're collecting this information from the experts, for example. You've got your trash can and you've got your box where you're keeping your treasure box. Might as well call it a treasure box. I do have a treasure box, I've just got to find it. But imagine that this is your treasure box, okay? Your treasure box of information that you feel is going to change your life. But this treasure box isn't inside of you yet. You've got it outside, because it's the outside world, the outside people that you think is going to change your life from the outside in. But it really works the other way round. You've got to change yourself from within, and then it will come out. For example, for you to then meet the people that can help you. So you then go to an online event and you gather in all this information from everyone, and your head's getting fuller and fuller and fuller. Your treasure box is getting fuller to the point where your treasure box, you've gone to so many events over the years that your treasure box becomes full, and you still haven't done anything with it. Your head is full. You don't know what direction to go now because you got too much information and you haven't taken any action on what you've been given. You may have even gone and brought a book, for example, but you haven't read that book. So you put the book in your treasure box. So now you've got the book in the treasure box that you haven't even read yet. Then you go to an online event, you buy, for example, a DVD. This is Deepak Chopra. I mean, I have read this because it is good. you get the DVD. It's not opened. You haven't listened to it. But you put it in your treasure box. So you can see your treasure box is getting full. You then go to another event online, for example, and then you look at, you're like, yes, that's great. So like this says, success is your own fault. It is. Because if you don't do anything with what you've been given, then it is your fault that you haven't acted upon it and that your business hasn't taken off as it should have done because you've done nothing with what you've been given. If you are waiting, this is a trash can, right? So obviously that's gone. You've managed to filter that away, but you've still got this treasure box full of great ideas that you've wanted to do and you haven't taken action. I can honestly say with my ideas that I have taken action. Whether they've been good, whether they've been bad, it's up to me. But I did take action. And I can say that my head is empty so that I can absorb more, for example, because I've tried things. My father always used to say, there's no such word as you can't. If you don't try, then you haven't given yourself a try. You have to have faith in you to succeed in life, because no one is going to do it for you. You can go to all the experts, all the gurus, for example, and I'm not a guru, I'm just a normal person. But you've gone to all these people and you haven't taken action with what you've been given. And they've spent years developing the skill to be able to show you how to do it. And we seem to waste so much of your time because you don't take action. And just like with me, with my boot camps, for example, a large percentage of people that attend the boot camp don't take action because they're busy, because life takes over. For whatever reason, it wasn't the right time for them. I want to tell you the story of one of the clients. Took her a whole year. One client, it took her 2 years to go back to the treasure box here. And she found back then it was DVDs. She found it and she played them. Or you might have a USB stick, for example. She played them from the boot camp. She took action because it was the right time for her. And what I want to say to you today is, how many times have you gone to events or attended a program and not taken action with it? Or you've been there for the duration but not made any notes and then you forget about it. How many of you have done that? Today I was talking about being focused. Today I've been talking about really getting to understand that your business isn't going to be instant, but you've got to take action and you've got to have faith, which is what I was talking about today. Having faith in you. No one else is going to do it for you. You have to have faith in you to make it work. Yes, we can bring all the things to you. Yes, we can give you the documents, but you have to learn how to use those documents. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So how are you going to move forward and use what you've been given? I'll give you another example. People go and they spend thousands, and I mean like £50,000, for example, on a franchise. And they've done some of the things that they've said for the franchise to do. And this is the difference with coming to my boot camp and going and getting a franchise for yourself. You're still in the same boat. Seriously. They're not going to give you leads. They're not going to say, here's 20 clients, right? You've done the training, which you've had to pay possibly another 10,000 to be trained. Then you've got to get all of their systems so that you match their company, for example. So by the time you finish, it could be 60, 70,000. Then you've got to get an office. What is the difference? I'm weighing this up. With our boot camps, we spend 3 days with you and we show you the same as what a franchise would show you that's charging £50,000, for example. We show you exact same thing, if not more. Because on day 3, we show you where to get contracts from. We also help you to apply for contracts, providing you do the work on each day. It has to work together, because if you sit there and don't do anything, then that's going to be a detriment to you. Attending our boot camp, the difference with attending our boot camp as opposed to attending events and spending thousands of pounds, or spending on a franchise, for example, and spending up to 100,000, for example, then that is very difficult, because you've spent all that money for a franchise and you're still back to where you was with no clients, for example. So with a boot camp that we charge £497 for, it shows you what you need to do, what's involved in running a healthcare business, because you need to understand what is actually involved in running a healthcare business. And you can take action, like with what some of our clients have done, or you can do the treasure box scenario and not do anything with it until possibly a year later or 2 years later, for example. I want to explain to you that we can look at the model of the franchises. I'm not putting franchises down, because it is good. People have worked really hard to be able to build a franchise system, for you to purchase their proven methods, for example. But I can also do the same by you attending the boot camp for £497. I believe that is a no-brainer. And another thing is that you'll be able to use your own company name. It's yours. You own it. And then you can use the additional money that you would have spent on a franchise, for example, to pay for things that's not going to be a big drain on you, for example. So, like I said, we have our boot camps every single month, and they're for 3 days, for example. But you get like 100 hours worth of learning material as well, which I think is an absolute gem. With a franchise, you don't get that. yes, you get to use their system, for example, and you get to use their branding, but you can create your own branding, because at the end of the day, like I said, it has to come from you within in order for you to really feel it. Because if you're relying on the outside elements to help you to grow a business, then you're using their model and not your own. So then you feel a disconnect there, because you're wanting to use your own model with a franchise, for example, but you can't. You're restricted from using your own model. You know, I've met people that have paid for franchises and they still haven't done anything with the franchise, for example. And sometimes we need to look at, let's look at what options we can do before we jump straight into a franchise. And I would highly recommend that you do the bootcamp, that you jump in and do the bootcamp for £497. And then you've got the additional money to pay for things, rather than you spend all of this money on a franchise. And if you're waiting to get registered with CQC, that can even take, 6 months, even a year, for example. I'm just using this as an example. So then maybe some of you have paid for an office for a whole year, on top of paying a franchise fee, taxes, as well as all of the other things that you've paid for in that franchise. So I'd like for you to book a free 15-minute appointment so that we can discuss with you how you can attend our bootcamp, and also how you can get contracts as well, because that's what we cover on the last day. It's a no-brainer. And like I said to you, that we've got to focus and have faith in ourselves, because your business is your business. It's no one else's business. You're the one that's in control of your business, and you're the one that can make it work. But you've got to also understand that it will be challenges sometimes, but you've got to learn to overcome those challenges, because then you will get stronger and you can go to the next level in your business as well. So I put it to you, are you going to purchase the treasure box, which could include a franchise, for example, or are you going to look at our bootcamp services? Our bootcamps, we hold them every month, and it's for 3 days. You can attend any one bootcamp. You choose the date. If you can't make it, then you can attend the next one, for example. But I would like for you to think about whether you want the franchise model, or whether you want the bootcamp that we're offering at $497, for example, or are you going to attend an event, for example, and pay, to listen to different speakers, for example? Are you going to take action with what is being given to you? You've got choices. And which one are you going to choose, for example? So there's a link here for you to book a free 15-minute appointment with me or my team, so that we can talk to you about what your options are and how best we can help support you. Because at the end of the day, the choice is yours, but what I want you to do is to take action with whatever you decide to do, because you cannot rely on outside elements to do everything for you. That's impossible. That's not going to create strength in you, because each time you overcome an obstacle, you become stronger and stronger. Each challenge that you come across, you become stronger and stronger. And your delays are not God's denials. There's a delay for a reason, because maybe you need to look at what you need to do in order to understand what you're getting involved in a business sense point of view, so that you're ready to meet that business when you are ready to lift it off the ground. Because you cannot expect a business to be up and running, but yet you haven't followed through on your CEO roles of what you need to do to make it a success. Otherwise, you're going to say that doesn't work when it does. The problem is that you didn't do your due diligence. You didn't do your homework to make it work. And I'm not talking about when like when people think that they can go to the gym for a week and think that they're going to transform their bodies. It takes time. It takes years. I've been walking for over 2 years now, and it's taken me time to get to the size that I want to be. And I then incorporated my high intensity exercises 66 days ago to get me to a size 10, for example. And I've still got a little work to do, because when you've had 4 children, it doesn't just instantly go just like that, especially when you get older, plus hormones kick in as well. But I want you to think about, in terms of your business model, that when you decide to go into a business, that you've got to put the work in. You've got to put the effort in. And you've got to stretch and challenge yourself. And we don't call it a boot camp for no reason. It is not easy. But it is if you follow through and do the work and follow the instructions as we're teaching you. So I challenge you today to book your free 15-minute appointment so that we can go through with you about how you can join our boot camp at the special price of £497. Give it a try. Give it a try. You've got nothing to lose. And it will also give you an understanding of what's involved, because you need to build your CEO muscles. Your brain has to be developed to learn how to run that business effectively. You cannot stop because you've hit an obstacle. You got to push through it. The obstacle is there to strengthen you. It is for your good. Just like when I said today, when you plant a seed, you plant it deep into the ground. You're not going to plant a seed and put it on top of the ground, are you? And then water it and expect it to grow and last. That seed has to be deep rooted in the ground. And then it has to be nurtured and cultivated so that when it grows above the ground, it is so deep rooted, it's going to be hard for it to be broken, for example. Just like a tree, how it's deep rooted in the ground first, it grows downwards, don't it? For example. And then once it's deep enough, it then grows up. And then if there's a wind or whatever, it can stand the storm and the wind. It just sways. But it's still deeply rooted at the bottom. Just like with ourselves, we're standing. We can't be just blown over just like that. We have to stand firm, don't we? Our legs are standing firm. And you have to see your business as that, because there will be times that you'll hit with challenges and you'll overcome them, and you'll feel good for overcoming them. You'll become stronger. So I just wanted to do this video today to ask you to please join our boot camps. You'll get to meet our coaches as well, and you'll also be able to develop your business and grow. You'll also be given the CEO challenge as well. So there'll be some free gifts that you'll get given as well. So there's a lot of content as well that you will get, as well as the bootcamp information. So I hope that you'll be able to join us. It is, even though it's for 3 days, but you do have the mastermind, which is a 12-month as well, with that as a free gift. Because this is Black Friday month, even though we're in December, I'm still carrying on, because now we're going into the holiday periods. So, Christmas is coming, holidays coming, for example. So as a free gift, we are giving away the bundle, all for the price of $497. So do click the link here to find out more, and let's make your business happen for 2025. We're here to support you, but we want you to work with us, and we want you to be able to build your business the way you want it built, not someone else's business. So thank you so much. Do like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this training today, this discussion, story, whatever you want to call it. And I look forward to seeing you again on the internet. Take care. Thank you. Goodbye.